Righty. I just had my screen. Let me take it back down. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty, you guys. So I'm taking over here. Of course, I'm Toniecia, and I'll be going over um psychoeducation, of course, but I'll mainly be going over a few things such as um oops, sorry, let me get my thing together. Oh, cognitive reconstructing. Also digging a little bit more into mental filtering and also observation of self. So give me just a moment. Let me get my information up really fast. Sorry. What is cognitive um, reconstructing and cognitive behavioral therapy? So what does that look like in when CPT therapy? Give me just a second. I have this information here. It not okay. I'm sorry, you guys. I was prepared, but I'm not sure why. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what is cognitive reconstructing? So, cognitive reconstructing can be defined as a set of strategies that can be used to teach clients on how to identify, evaluate, and create their thought processes and dysfunctional thoughts or concepts. So, cognitive reconstructing can and may be used in positive psychotherapy for positive outcomes. So, when we think of cognitive reconstructing, core concepts that are involved are basically your thought processes during situations in environments that compose as stressful or triggering, and recognizing the negative thoughts and confronting them, um, and making sure that these thoughts are accurate. And these thoughts are true. So, um, a key goal, so moving forward, a key goal into cognitive reconstructing, basically, it is pinpointing negative or distorted thoughts that contribute to and emotional distress and unhealthy behaviors. Another key point would be increasing self-awareness of automatic thoughts and emotional reactions. Um, and another key point also would be challenging inaccurate thoughts and beliefs to in examining evidence against those thoughts. And lastly, the key point of cognitive reconstructing is because it improves emotional regulation and by changing how situations are interpreted. So, cognitive thoughts, like the whole process with cognitive thoughts, is really kind of, if you think about it, it is holding yourself accountable to the thoughts, the negative thoughts. Because I know sometimes we tend to let negative thoughts kind of sit and roam in our head without challenging them. So, ladies, have can you all relate to that or give me an instance where you have had to confront a thought or challenge a thought? It could be in the past or fairly recent. Does anybody want to go?
I can go. I just really gotta think about it.
Okay. Yeah, I know sometimes it can be challenging when you're thinking about like it's easy to think about a negative thought, but it's kind of hard to think if
Mm-hmm.
you challenged it or overcame that thought
Mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Yeah, I think I came up with one. So I live with a roommate, and she is my best friend of like 7 years. Um, and before living together, it was a great, amazing friendship. It was easy. We saw each other when we wanted to. Um,
Mhm.
and we just, yeah, we always have got along so well. Now, living together comes with a very wide a range of challenges and experiences. Um, I would definitely say that I've had to challenge my thoughts a lot, being like, her door is closed. She doesn't want to talk to me. She hates me. Um, and I've had to sit there and go, no, maybe she's just having a rough day.
Mhm.
Maybe she's not feeling talkative right now. Maybe she um, wants to give me space because I've been really stressed recently with school. Um, so that's definitely been a way I've been trying to challenge my own thoughts.
That's good. That's good because a lot of times I like how you put that in perspective. You challenged it instead of making an assumption, which is good because assumption can cause us to overthink, um, even overreact. So definitely, it sounds like you really challenged yourself, really thought of all of the things that could be affecting your roommate, and definitely being considerate and taking that into perspective. So that's a good one, Hannah. Lauren, do you have anything?
The only thing I could really think of was, like I said, I got blood work today.
Mhm.
So I was just thinking about how I was always just thinking negative thoughts about that because I was so scared to go and do it that I couldn't kind of like psych myself out or think about anything else or bring any positives into it. So I would say that one.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes the challenge isn't like in your head. Sometimes it's actually doing. So the fact that you
Mhm.
actually went and got the blood work done, that's a positive as
Yeah,
well.
actually going through with it.
Oh yeah, because that can definitely, you do have to psych yourself up sometimes.
Hmm.
Yeah, so there are benefits to cognitive reconstructing. So Um, of course, one of the main benefits would be reducing the symptoms of anxiety or depression. Um, it also can improve your self-esteem and confidence. Definitely, reconstructing or just staying in that moment or in the present could definitely help with making sure with your confidence and knowing that you don't have to overthink or go as far as how you are in the moment. It also helps with managing stress effectively, and it also can encourage definitely healthier emotions and emotional responses and promote um, problem solving as well. Um, and lastly, of course, it can help with improving overall mental well-being. Yes, ma'am. So, there are some steps when it comes to reconstructing. Oh, Hannah, I know you have a question.
Matty actually responded in the chat with her challenge recently.
Oh, Matty, I'm so sorry about that. Let me take a look. Let me. Okay. All right, getting good grades. Okay. Okay. So, definitely reconstructing or the benefits. I'm sorry, let me go back to that one with the positive go back to what I was asking, sorry. Okay, so a challenge for you has been getting good grades. Is that correct, Matty? Because that's a challenge for me. I definitely understand. And yeah, I think how we can reconstruct or how we could think of that in a sense would be Definitely, we're putting forth our best effort, or reconstructing our thoughts too. We're putting forth our best effort, and also thinking about the grades that we have now and if they need to be improved, or um or what we can do to improve them. So that's a good example, Matty. I definitely agree. All right. So I want to give you all some steps for cognitive reconstructing. So definitely when we find ourselves kind of dealing with anxiety or dealing with racing thoughts, um, one thing that we can do to try to put more try to start with the cognitive reconstructing would definitely be identify the situation that triggered an emotional response. So for you, Hannah, you said it was your roommate. How your was it like how your roommate was acting towards um, with having her door shut and things of that sort. And for you, Lauren, it would be the emotional response, just thinking about getting blood work done. And for you, Matty, it would be just maintaining good grades. So, these are all valid situations that can trigger our emotions, whether it be fear, anxiety, definitely. It can trigger our emotional responses. So, um, the second part would definitely be recognizing the automatic thought process that has occurred. Sometimes we have thoughts that go in our mind so quickly that we don't take the time to recognize I'm going through anxiety right now, or I'm going through fear right now. Sometimes we can let our thoughts go way ahead of us to the point where we don't recognize it. But it's important for us to slow down and recognize these thought processes. Something I need to do. Definitely speaking to myself in that, when I say that. So identify the cognitive distortion. So, of course, Hannah went on was earlier speaking about cognitive distortions, and she brought up some very key points. So, what is the distorting thought? What is the thought here that is causing us to think? And sometimes we can go back. Sometimes it's not the immediate thought at that moment. Sometimes it's something that happened in the past that can cause us to feel how we feel now. Um, a next step would be to examine the evidence that that was found that you have found against the thought. So what's the evidence that um you're scared of the blood work, or the fear of the blood work before? Is it something that happened in the past, like a, a bad have you had like a bad um experience before in the past? Have you not healed correctly? Or Hannah, have you not had a good experience with your roommate before in the past? Does that indicate every time she does that with her doors, does that indicate every time like she may not be in a good mood? Or Matty, have you had bad grades before in the past that has caused you to kind of feel have that kind of fear or anxiety towards not having good grades? I want you ladies to sit and think about that, and if possibly if you could share, that would be great.
So for me, I think nothing bad has ever happened. This is just the first time that I've ever gotten blood work. And I don't really like needles. Just I've always been that way. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's just that fear that builds up, and every time I get a needle, I'm like, it's really not that bad, but it's
Yeah,
just the fear, I think, of having to do that, and it always comes back no matter how bad or good it goes.
yeah. And I feel like you have evidence, especially if we've all gotten shots before, vaccines before, and we know how they hurt. So
Hmm.
definitely you can rely on that evidence to make you feel the thoughts that you have towards getting blood work done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say for myself, there's really not much evidence to support it, at least not from my roommate. There's evidence to support it from other people in my life, like my parents. Um, they were definitely the type to kind of shut themselves out when they were feeling upset. Um, it's a character flaw of mine where if I need some space or I'm upset, then I also shut myself out and don't really allow any kind of communication. And I will shut my door at like 6 p.m., even though there's plenty of time left in the day to maybe have better conversations. But so there's no evidence from my roommate exactly, just people or other people around me. So
Yeah, even experience is valid evidence as well, that can be used towards those distortions as well. So definitely, even though you didn't have it directly with the roommate, it definitely is still you felt it before. So that's evidence as well. Evidence as well. And Matty, if you have anything, you can definitely type in. We can discuss it as well. As well. Alrighty. So the key to this is to develop a more balanced thought process. That can be hard though. I feel like that can be very hard because when we develop balanced thought processes, sometimes we're still in the thick of the situation where it can be hard for us to do that, but it is important. Which brings me to the next part is to notice how emotions and behaviors can change and also reframing our thoughts. So the next spot, I bring up mental filtering, and it was brought up before with Matty. She did a great job with discussing this. Mental filtering definitely allows you to um, grasp concepts of definite of what's going on here. So, what's the definition? I'm just going to open up more information on there. And mental filtering is just basically a cognitive distortion where we as people tend to fixate on the negative attributes and experiences that um, undermine the positive. So, of course, tonight we're going to talk about common overthinking patterns and things of that sort. Many of us have experience. Um, we have, and like Matty said earlier, we can have several compliments during the day, but it's just that one compliment that will mess you up, kind of like where you really don't want, you really, it overpowers the 10 other compliments that you have. So just to touch on that, that's one of the things that can um, affect your um, cognitive reconstructing is mental filtering. That's one of the aspects. Um, Now, you all, I want you to think of this statement. This is an exertion of self-activity I wanted us to start tonight. Think of this statement. I should be doing better by now. When you hear that statement, that can apply to many things. It could be applied to your schooling. It could apply to being at work, being a better sister, mom, aunt, wherever you are, however that may affect you. I feel like sometimes we can relate to that statement. I should be doing better by now. But some questions to ask ourselves is, what is the evidence that support that thought? Um, What is the evidence that does not support that thought? Is there another explanation? And what positives are being overlooked? Now, does anyone want to share their statement? Want to share on this statement? I should be doing better by now. Is there anything that you could think of that you could be doing better, but you shouldn't, but you aren't, or you feel like you aren't? Sorry, I'll rephrase that. You feel like you aren't, or does anybody resonate with that statement?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, how do you resonate with that statement?
Um, I should be doing better by now. Honestly refers to finances. I feel I'm paying for school fully out of pocket, with no loans or anything. And so obviously it's difficult. Um, and I really struggle with each time I make a tuition payment. Um, and my obviously my bank account goes down. I think to myself, wow, I should have way more money than what I do. I should be way more successful financially than what I am right now.
Okay, so my question to you on that would be, because we do have the evidence to support that, your bank account and having to come out of pocket and things of that sort, but what positives are being overlooked when you think of that when it comes to your financial, and it comes your financial abilities as it pertains to school?
Mhm. Um, One positive definitely is that I can even afford school. There's a, not there's definitely some people that struggle to that college isn't even a thought because they need to support their families or put food on the table and things like that.
Yeah. That is definitely good. And that's how we restructure, even though it is easier to see the negative with, being able to having to have to come out of pocket financially. I also think a positive way to look at this could be you won't go into debt. A lot of people who take there are a lot of people who take out loans and have to repay that back. It takes sometimes a lifetime to pay that back, but the fact that you're paying for it up front, is something that you don't have to worry about when it comes to being in debt as much. So I think that's a positive as well. Alrighty, Lauren, do you have anything?
I would say maybe time management I should be doing better with. I've been in school for like 6 years and work, so I feel like I should be doing better. But I also can see how I am doing better than where I started.
Mhm.
But that's just something that I always kind of go back to.
Okay, so what evidence supports that thought when you say time management?
Maybe just feeling rushed to do things maybe outside of school or some things that are in school, feeling like I have to rush through it instead of taking my time.
Okay, okay. Now, what positives do you think are being overlooked?
Probably that when I started school so long ago, I really didn't have a lot of time management because I was kind of in COVID where you could do a lot of things on your own time. So coming out of that and trying to like relearn and adjust to time and society, it was
Yeah.
difficult, but I've definitely grown since then. So I can look at that growth as a positive.
Yes, definitely growth is optimal. So that is great. That is great. Matty, I really love your response to this. She said, when it comes to career trajectory, I feel like a lot of times, and that can relate to all of us. I think all of us can kind of, well, not all of us, I'm sorry. I think that can go back to what Lauren said, as it pertains to like time management and things of that sort, the career trajectory. Sometimes, our evidence. We use where we are now as our evidence of to support that we should be doing better by now. So I can take myself as an example. I've just graduated with my degree for social work, but I haven't used it towards getting a career in social work. So I can definitely relate and resonate with that. But the positives, Matty, do you have any positives that you think are being overlooked? Because sometimes we think we should be doing better by now when it comes to our career and our career trajectory, but we could be right where we are. We could be right in the space that we need to be in order to get to where we want to be. and I'm gonna let you ponder on that, Matty, and you can type your response and I'll definitely share it. But that also brings me to the last part, the balanced thought example. So we have to balance our thoughts when it comes to um, when it comes to making statements such as "I should be doing better by now." We could think, "Oops, sorry. How do I go back? No, sorry. I'm sorry. Give me just a second. Oh no, I'm showing all of Lauren's work. Give me just a second. There we go. Sorry. Um, but a more balanced thought would be I am I am exactly where I need to be right now, and I am learning and growing at my own pace. Again, that can be hard when you're in the thick of the situation and you're thinking of uh, like Hannah, taking out, well, not taking out loans, I'm sorry, paying for school up front, or Lauren, um, definitely thinking about where you should be, or Matty, like you said, your career trajectory. That can be hard, but you have to think in the moment. You can't think um, further than where you are right now, because that can cause a lot of um, distortion, such as what Hannah went through with the PowerPoint earlier. So I just want to explain. I just want to debrief and explain why assertion of self is important. Of course, it increases self-awareness. It helps identify cognitive distortions, like we said earlier, um, and it supports positive behavioral change. So, behave be some behaviors that we have, or some thought process that we have, can help with making sure, I'm sorry, some thought process that we have can be distorted or can affect our growth, but it is important that we don't let the whole we take a break, take a moment, take a breather, and think of what positives can be made, can be put towards put towards the thought processes. Sorry. And as we reflect, as we come to an end, I want us to reflect. So, I want us to focus on reconstructing and mental filtering. It is essential to focus on the present rather than making assumptions and making negative emotions or past experiences. It is important to examine the triggers and reactions associated with feelings of anxiety, embarrassment, hopelessness, and as these emotions can unconsciously create mental filter and fuels automatic thoughts and responses. So identifying the key concepts to mental reconstructing would definitely be identifying, challenging, and replacing these distorted thoughts with more balanced alternatives and key concepts used to addressing mental filtering and promote healthier thinking patterns. So, cognitive reconstructing can be effective um, in intervention because it can help reduce anxiety, stress, and while also improving self esteem and overall emotional well being. So, that is our closing remarks. I just want you all to just ponder and think of how, think of like maybe like a recent thought, a recent negative thought, um, and the emotions that were connected to it, and how to balance those thoughts. Again, like I have been stating earlier, it can be hard to try to balance it, but it is something that it is important that we ask ourselves, what am what am I needing in this moment instead of what is happening in the future, or maybe what has happened in the past. So that is all that I have when it comes to cognitive reconstructing. And if you all have any questions or anything, definitely I would love for us to go dive deeper in more in the aspects of cognitive reconstructing. Just a second. I think, okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing, but I'm trying to stop recording.